this tutorial, we're going to make this really cute fabric pendant banner. I hung mine up in my craft room, but this would be really cute on a fireplace mantle, over a bed, in a classroom, and it would make a great item to sell. All you need is one package of double fold bias tape, mine is a 1/2 inch wide, and a charm pack or 5-inch squares. My fabric banner measures 63 inches long. I was able to make 2 fabric banners out of 1 charm pack. Each of my fabric banners had 18 squares. I laid them out in an arrangement I liked, and I took a picture of it just in case the fabric got mixed up. Take one of your squares, fold it in half, and align the raw edges. Use clips or pins to hold this in place. You're going to sew 1/4 inch seam allowance along this raw edge here. I like to start at the point and then work my way down. Start sewing at the point right here and lower your presser foot. We're going to sew 1/4 inch seam allowance down the raw edge. If you're familiar with chain piecing, this is a great project to do chain piecing. Chain piecing is essentially feeding the next piece of fabric through your machine without cutting your thread. The advantage to this is some sewers think it is quicker, but it also keeps your fabric in order so they don't get mixed up. I'm going to take my scissors and trim the point off of the fabric. Then I'm going to gently turn this right side out and use my point turner tool to carefully poke out the point. Trimming the fabric off of the point helps to reduce bulk and get a nice crisp point. Next, I'm going to take this to my iron and give it a good press. This seam should be centered on the back of the banner. After giving this a good press, I'm just going to trim off the extra fabric on the top here and repeat this with the rest of the fabric pennants. Now it's time to start assembling the fabric pennant banner. I left a 12-inch tail. I'm going to unfold the double fold bias tape and place it right sides together with the raw edges lined up with the top raw edge of the fabric pennant banner. I'm going to repeat this with the rest of the fabric pennants and use clips or pins to hold this in place. The spacing of the fabric pennants is up to you. I chose to put mine next to each other, but you can have spacing in between them as well. Now I'm going to take this to the machine and sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance to attach the double fold bias tape to the fabric pennants. Next, I'm going to take the double fold bias tape and fold it over the back of the fabric, closing the raw edges in the double fold bias tape. I'm going to use clips to hold this in place until I take it to the machine to sew. This next part is optional, but I chose to fold in the raw edges of the double fold bias tape so there would be no raw edges. Just open it up, do a finger press 1/4 inch, and then refold it closed again. And I'm going to use a clip to hold this in place until I take it to the machine to sew it. The same thing on the other raw end. The last step is to sew the double fold bias tape closed. I'm going to backstitch when I start and stop sewing to hold the folded raw edge under, and I'm going to continue sewing down about 1/8 of an inch from the folded edge, the open folded edge, and sew all the way down the fabric pennant banner. Is the completed fabric pennant banner. These sewed up really quickly. I think they turned out really cute. And the best part is I got 2 of them out of 1 charm pack. They do have a seam on the back side, which is okay because I'm hanging mine up on the wall and I won't see the back side. And I wanted to use a charm pack to make a fabric pennant banner. Really fun to switch these out seasonally. I can come up with so many fun options using different fabrics.